George, tell me, how did you do it? You have a following that's probably more than Taylor Swift. If you say a condo's good to go, you could sell out the whole building. People listen to you like it's the gospel.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's your secret sauce? How come you know something that nobody else knows?
You're too kind, Mark. Thank you. And I cherish the relationship I have with you and Barry since 2005. And I guess what it is, Mark, is genuine, honest, and being selective, right? So the underlying thing that we do is we seek tremendous upside potential through value and through location. And Lanterra Developments repeatedly comes through with not only value but location, and in some cases extra goodies. So that's basically what we do. And yes, my following is strong and loyal, and they act when everybody else is sleeping. They can buy at any time, so it's just a matter of putting a green light on a site. And I'm blessed to have that with my guys. Yeah.
That's great, George. So tell me, we're like, say, 2 years into what would be described as a challenging time for sales.
Yes.
Interest rates went up. People are now closing and they're trying to scramble for mortgages. A lot of people are in the money, like in our Rodeo Drive project. People have a lot of equity and could somehow or another manage.
Yes.
So here we are. We had 3 reductions in interest rates already. We have another 2 coming up.
Yes.
There's a pretty big expectation in the market that we're going to see at least another half a point, maybe more, drop before the end of the year.
Yes.
And by next summer, probably more significant. The U.S. Feds did reduce half a point.
Yes.
What are you telling your clients? Is now the time to buy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Why?
Because the U.S. Fed moved a half. That most likely means that, cross our fingers, October will move a half, October 23rd. And judging by the inflation print we just got for August, prior month was 2.5, and it hammered down to 2%. And that's exactly where the Bank of Canada wants it. In my opinion, we're going into the ones, because 30% of that inflation is shelter, okay? The other thing I'm keeping a track of, and I was on the Chicago Merc this morning, gasoline futures are down at $1.92. The 52-week high on gasoline futures was $2.75. Same with crude oil. It was at 90. Now it's at, last check this morning, $68 US a barrel, okay? And all of a sudden now the Saudis are going back on their word, saying that we're gonna throw the $100 target out the window per barrel and we're gonna just mass produce. So it's the reason why I mentioned gasoline and oil is because that directly has an impact on inflation. So France just came out this morning from 1.8 to 1.2, their inflation print was for September. We still don't have ours yet for September. But I think that the Bank of Canada has drastically overshot rates, 4.75%. I think in June they should have started cutting half. They're trickling, they're scared, they're worried, they're hiding underneath a blanket, in my opinion. Okay, so quarter point in June, quarter point July, quarter point September. The US Fed, after that quarter point reduction, hammers it down 50 right out of the gates. Very, very rare to see the US Fed come out so strong with a cut. Usually it's a trickle, usually it's a quarter, just like the Bank of Canada did. But very, very rare to see, and that reiterates, I think we're gonna go down half in October and potentially half in December. The other thing, Mark, is 5-year interest rates, the low right now we can get is 3.94%. So we've broken that psychological 4% barrier on a 5-year fixed rate. Now, it's insured, but still, it's less than 4% in the marketplace. If I was a buyer right now, I'm coaching my GMTers, get out there, show the market best posted rates to your A-Bank, because right now TD is the lowest at 449. 0.55 of a gap from lowest market to TD is way too wide. You can negotiate, in my opinion, negotiate those posted rates let's challenge the A banks to where the relationship really is. Is it two-sided or is it one-sided? So I think, personally speaking, load up as much as you can. And your number one site, in my opinion, Mark, is Bathurst and Glencairn. I love Glen Hill.
Well,
I love Glen Hill.
when it's up and running, Glen Hill is going to be the go-to place because it has such a strong community support, and
Yes.
there's so many prominent people already, you know, committed to the building, including me, by the way.
But the way you
But
package that together, I mean, there's nothing like it. I don't know if there's anything like it in all of North America.
and the price per foot also.
Oh,
It's like yeah, but listen, the market's going to come, but the problem, you know. So this is my next question. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Between now and 12 months from now,
Yes.
it's like a herd of elephants, right?
Right.
The herd's going to all of a sudden all wake up
Right.
and say, holy smokes, I got to buy a condo.
Right.
It's going to happen between now and 12 months.
Okay.
You want your clients to be ahead of the curve.
Right.
You could now get tremendous deals from developers.
100%.
Me too. Like
Okay.
from me too. But from every developer, because you know, you want to make a few sales and everything,
Right.
right? Those deals would not be available like in 6 months from now.
Yes, I understand that.
So how do you tell your clients? And you know, it takes guts because interest rates are still highish,
Right.
and you know, you don't smell yet. You know, spring is in the air.
We're not followers, Mark. Our guys are not followers. We're leaders. We lead the effort, right? So when everybody's sleeping, we're wide awake. And we structure deals. I mean, we understand that the current marketplace and the environment could be a little bit bearish and there's a bunch of sideliners, but we capitalize on that. We know where it's going to be in 4 or 5 years. We just had the immigration number released that the Government of Canada target for all of 2024 was 500,000. Well, guess what? We made that June 30. So we're on track for a million plus, okay, in terms of immigration. The gap from immigration to supply, where's the 1.5 million homes that these guys are talking about by 2030? It's a smoke show. It's all words, broken promises. I mean, this happened on Trudeau's watch for what, 8 years? The housing crisis? We're still in a crisis. Now they're talking about loosening up here, loosening up there. They just don't get it. We have government, people in government that are not from business. They're not well-rounded business guys. And that's unfortunately detrimental to local youth and local families that just want to get something, right? So in my opinion, I think that don't wait until the spring market, right? Because the spring market, in my opinion, it's going to be a blast off, so to speak, in my opinion. Okay, it could be wrong, I don't know. But again, with immigration, the housing supply being short, the interest rates coming down and down hard. I was a little bit late on my last call. I mean, I was, excuse me, a little bit early, but they ended up coming down hard down now. It was a year later, but nobody thought in June of 2023 the Bank of Canada would spike. You know, so they hit it again a quarter in June of 23. I hit it again a quarter in July of 23. And I have no idea what these guys are thinking over 2 years, 4.75%. They're just crippling disposable income. One, there's nothing out there. And even now, credit capacity is starting to be affected, okay? So if I was a bank and I was lending to a builder, I would be forward-looking and lending all I can.
I'll
speak on the bank side.
I'll give you my Rolodex. I'll get lots of phone numbers.
No, I know. But these guys, but that's what I'm saying. When you think on the surface, you can never win. You're always going to lag what's going to go on, right? So
Okay, let's
I don't
move
know
on.
if I said too much.
What do you think? What about rents? What do you think rents are going to be?
I think they're going to be stable for a while, okay? And even trough lower a little bit as the first-time home buyers get out of the rental market, can qualify for the rate, and jump off and say, listen, I better buy something now or else I'm going to be paying higher later as rates trickle down. I think the rental market potentially will soften for the next 12 months. And that'll be as a result of higher sales in the resale market. So I'm watching the sales daily, okay? They still haven't taken off, okay? And the reason why they haven't taken off is 3/4 of a point total is not enough. So if we start going half in October, half in December, we're setting ourselves up for a very, very strong resale market come the spring. And then the sentiment will change on the pre-construction side. But for me, I love buying in bearish times, and so do my guys.
Well, the curve got to stop being inverted.
Yes.
For people to say, gee, now's the time.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you one last question.
Yes, sir.
The geopolitical situation.
Yes.
Elections in the United States, potential down the road in Canada.
Yeah.
A lot of crappy stuff going on in the
Yes.
world. How does that affect you?
Doesn't. I focus on the supply and immigration and Toronto and Canada being a world class.
But does it affect consumer confidence?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But that'll be short term, Mark, because sooner or later prices are going to move higher.
And what about people going to worry about their jobs? Are people worried about their jobs?
They are worried about their jobs, and really the job market, in my opinion, the unemployment print was 6.6, and that's another thing that the Bank of Canada has got to be watching, because if that unemployment print in September comes close to 7, we could be looking at half to three-quarter cut in October. I mean, things are deteriorating. So yes, in my opinion, we do need a change in government. We do need a business leader there that's a well-rounded person. And I think that person is Barry Fenton, okay? Or Mr. Wonderful.
God help us. Okay, George. We're looking forward to November the 9th, our legendary
So am
trip
I,
to Iceland.
so am I.
We did a lot of trips, and I think
Yes.
you were in every single one of them.
Yes.
And we always tried to find, not just go find the closest beach and just hang around with
Yes.
martinis and stuff. Iceland, I was there a couple years ago, and it's the most exquisite place in the world.
Yes. Mark, I've always enjoyed the trips. I mean, the last trip we went to Israel, it was just phenomenal. The agenda was jam-packed loaded, okay? And obviously the quality of hotels, you guys always, I always say I could stay at a 3 or 4 star, but you guys insist top level for the agent. So I do endorse your brand, and I do recommend that all agents out there have a look at Lanterra Developments, because you really know how to treat your agent network very well.
All right, so George, looking forward to have you.
Thank you.
This was great, very informative.
Thank you.
And quite frankly, I think we should do this more often.
I think so too. Your call.
Okay.
I'm at your disposal.
See you then.
Thank you, sir,
Bye-bye.
very much.
Okay, there you go.